afternoon and welcome to Grow Beautiful Flavor. Today, it's been about, let's see, a little over a week and a half, I think, since we got the chicks, and actually they were on sale because they were getting kind of old at our feed store. So we are gonna go ahead and put our meat birds in here today, just to get them out of the brooder and onto the grass. It's warm enough out here. It's time. Let's go get them. Now that I have the chickens in there, I'll go ahead and take a second and show you how we get this set up. This is the chicken coop that we have built. It's more of a transition house for the chickens. What we did was we had built our main coop, as you can see in the background here. That one is for our laying hens. Now, the problem came when we had big chickens in the coop, and then we're trying to add in smaller chickens off of a different group batch of chickens, and you know, the chickens need to get a little bit bigger before I felt good about putting them in the main coop. So what I did, instead of just having to go straight from the brooder to the main pen, I built actually just a little kind of transition pen, just from scrap that we had around. So I'll go ahead and give you a little quick look. It's not beautiful, but you know, it works, and it works pretty well so far. So this is it. I had some old pallets that I was able to take apart and use some of the wood for to make the A-frame part, and then you can see I just used some scrap to help make some supports in it. You know, we had the wire mesh that was left over from the main coop that we used just right in here, just to get the airflow, but yet not to totally block all the sun. They can get the sun through part of that. Over here we had the tin, and that way they have some shade, a little more protection. And you know, there again, I didn't have full sheets, I just used some scraps. So I went ahead and put the chickens in so that they can get on the grass, and I'll show you what I have for food for them and water. This is our watering system for them. It just has the little cup waters in it. It's actually the water we have in the main coop, but I'm gonna bring it in here for a while until these grow out. You know, my goal is to raise these till about 6 weeks. We're gonna see what that takes us. I've never done meat birds before, so this will be our first go at that. And so as with the garden and anything else, you know, it's an experiment, and we'll just see what happens. So trial and error, I guess, is what we will be doing. But this is the water I plan to train them on how to use. For now, since this is the very first time I brought them in, we do just kind of watch them and see if they are drinking out of that water. I'll show you what they will have though. This little water came out of their brooder, and we will use that actually just until we know for sure that they will drink out of the main water. Okay, so since they're not used to the main watering system that's going to be in here, we're just going to go ahead and put what they're used to, just what the water that they have in their brooder. We're going to go ahead and stick that in there for them. And all these big chickens, the laying chickens, the laying hens are really interested in seeing what these baby chicks are doing. So we're trying to keep them away. I'm just going to set this little water in here. Okay, so we also have this is what I put in the brooders. Hey. This is what we have in the brooders. There again, I'm just going to stick it in here until they get used to the big feeder. And here we go. This is our big feeder that we use in this thing. The nice thing about this this coop is that it is mobile. We are able to move it around. Now it's not easy. It's not super difficult, but it's just not as easy as what I'd like it to be. Maybe someday I'll put a little bit more reinforcements on the bottom, make it be able to be moved around a little bit easier. But you know, until then, it works fine. So what I do is I have a little hanger in here. I have a little hanger in here that I just hang it up. So I'll show you that here in just a second. Hey, get out of here. This is the feeder that we have. I might have to lower it. It's just right off the ground, but they do have their feeder from the little brooder that we have too, so I'm not real worried about it. But we just have this hanging. It's really hard to see. We just have it hanging. I just have a chain piece wrapped around the top of the coop here, and it just connects to the food feeder. So you can see they're getting a drink, or they were. They're really enjoying being on that grass. They're really probably not sure what to think on that. Just pecking at all those things. So we're gonna see how they do out here. Like I said, the big chicks are looking at them, wondering what they're doing. We'll keep a pretty close eye on them, especially until we know they can drink out of that big water too. So I think they'll be okay though. It's really warm, even warm at night, so I'm not too worried about that aspect of them. So we'll just let them hang out and see how they do. I'm going to go ahead and close them on up for the day and let them get used to their home. As I said before, this is really just out of scrap. You know it's really out of scrap when it's a makeshift door handle like this. I just used some pieces from actually some extra pieces from some garage door parts that we had in the shed, and I just made a contraption where I could screw a bolt on just to hold it closed. Here for our hinges, I even used the garage door hinges. So then when I pick it up and move it, it really depends. For our laying hens, when they're this size, a lot of times I'll move it, you know, once every 3 days or so. That's usually pretty good. These, when they get bigger, we'll grow them out here. So when they get bigger, I might have to move them closer to every day. But time will tell, and we'll see. Right here, I just used it's a clamp to hold a pipe up. And you know, it works really well. It does kind of hurt my hands when I move it. There again, like I said, I really kind of need to revamp the system just a little bit, just tweak it a little bit to make it a little bit better. But you know, it works, and so that's really all I'm looking for, is for a system that'll work for me. Thank you again for joining us on Grow Beautiful Flavor. We really appreciate you guys following us on our new YouTube channel. You know, this has been a dream of mine for several years now, and you know, just starting takes a lot of courage to do it. But this is where we are, and this is what we're doing. So, you know, one of the best ways to help support us on this adventure is just by hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and even sharing it on social media like Facebook or something like that. So you know, go ahead and do those things, and that will definitely help us the most. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.